Okay, let's try this again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stampin' Up with Jamie. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you're catching this on replay, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm just going to give it a second here to get my computer up and running so I can follow along with comments. Hi, Michelle, again. I'm not exactly sure what's with technology tonight. On my end, it's like super zoomed in. I know, hi, Beck. It's like super zoomed in and super dark, but I don't know. I didn't really do anything different tonight. I don't know. I don't know why it's that way, but anyway, hello everyone. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for joining me tonight. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing well. Okay. So here we are. I'm working on a new bundle that is going to be in the 2020-2021. I just want to say like new annual catalog because the other with the years is such a tongue twister to get out. Hi, Karen. So it's a new bundle in the new catalog, which goes live on the 3rd, which is next Wednesday. So a week from today. Yay. Hi, Roz. Hello. Ooh, that's exciting. Hi, Rachel. So this is a brand new bundle. It's super fun. This is the card we're going to be making tonight. I'm not going to make it a baby card for you guys, but I think it definitely works as one, which I think is kind of fun. But I also want to show you another card that I made. This is another one that I made using the stamp set, the bundle. And I think it's very sweet. I love that here, let me show you. So here's the stamp set. And I love that we have two birds and that they're facing, well, either opposite each other or facing each other. And I think that really provides a lot of versatility, things that we can do, things how we can make. I was thinking this would be a really great like wedding card, right? You can do an opposite birds like this, but maybe do different colors and make it a wedding card. I think a simple design like this, I love like nature scenes for sympathy cards. So like a thinking of you card would be great, something like that. I just think it's a very, very versatile set that you can do a lot with. And it comes with this great nest, some branches. We're going to be using those tonight. So Birds and Branches bundle available beginning next Wednesday. It is a bundle. It's paired with dies. So let me show you. Those are called Birds and More Dies. Very fitting. And they look like that. How fun is that? So much you can do with this. I feel like I was just kind of playing around the other day, but there's just so much you can do. And again, as I've been saying with the other new bundles that I've been playing with, Stampin' Up! Is really giving us a lot to work with because we have these sort of outline images that coordinate with our images in our stamp set. Oh, my thing's rocking. I don't know why. I'm going to tape that down. That's all I need is my my phone to go flying. Okay, hold on. I just taped that down. Hopefully it doesn't rock anymore. But then we also have these standalone. This one can cut out like the edge of a card. This one I can't wait to play with. I just kind of ran out of time, but this one's really fun. These are just kind of standalone ones. And then we have two birds, again, that can face each other or away from each other, that can just be cut out with just plain cardstock. So a lot to play with, which I love because I love when you can buy something and you have the sort of like the options are endless. So again, this is the other card. I'll feature it on my blog. I don't know, maybe next Friday or so, but just another option that you can do with this. But this is one we're making tonight, so let's just dive right in. You may have to get this one. Hold on, I'm gonna put another tape. I am so afraid that, ooh, that broke. I am so afraid that the camera is just gonna go flying in the middle of the video. I'm already having enough technical difficulties today. Don't need more. Okay, hey Kim, how you doing? So, of course, I didn't get out my bone folder. I think I forget every single week. Okay, so I'm using my favorite pink, which is Petal Pink. And this is cut at 4 1/4 by 11, score, no, excuse me, I'm backwards. I'm doing the wrong card. This is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Let me just, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Thank you so much for sharing it. I appreciate it. Cherie, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's either Cherie or Sherry. And then I already did this ahead of time, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but this is one of the carrying over embossing folders. So it's in the current annual catalog. It's going to be continuing in the new annual catalog. It's called Lace Embossing Folder. Now, something I want to mention about this folder, and you can kind of see it in the picture here, is that it's not centered. So if I want sort of a symmetric embossing, which I've kind of, oh, thanks, Roz, appreciate it, which I've kind of achieved. Hi, Lynette. You have to really be purposeful about where you're positioning it in your embossing folder. So I don't know about you, but if I'm like center, okay, I'm going to put it literally in the center of the embossing folder, but not in this case. It's a little off. So just be mindful when you're putting it in. I usually like to put it in, and then I kind of find sort of a landmark, I guess. So I want it between these, and I just kind of play with it, moving it, up and down until I think I've kind of gotten it centered, and then I emboss it. Now, not everybody is crazy as I am, and maybe that doesn't matter, but just something to be aware of, that if you're looking for sort of symmetric embossed look, don't just go putting it in the center of that embossing folder, because it won't come out as such. Oh, Sherry. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yes, I'm very happy it's carrying over as well. So anytime I'm adhering down something with a lot of texture, I do like to use our tear and tape. Now, if you've received your new annual catalog, or maybe you've heard the buzz on the street, we are getting new adhesive, which is super, super excited. I cannot wait. We actually, there's two different ones. One, and I haven't used them. We weren't able to pre-order them, but I did get a little taste of how they work. I saw someone using them, and I've heard nothing but good things about this new adhesive, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it, let me tell you. And one of them is supposed to be a little, whoops, that just totally came off, a little on the stronger side, so that you don't have to necessarily use the tear and tape. That would probably do the trick. The other, I don't know the names off the top of my head. I haven't memorized names. But anyways, so just something to keep in mind. Right now I'm using the tear and tape, but we will be able to get our hands on new adhesive, which should do the trick when using sort of, anything that has a lot of texture in it. Of course, you could always use liquid glue, would work as well. I don't know, I just don't usually reach for my liquid glue that often. I know some people use it a lot. Hi, Denise. Hello. Long time no talk to, right? Hi, Patricia. No problem. Thanks for joining me tonight. Okay, so this is just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's the size of the complete front of the card here. Again, embossed using the lace embossing folder that we'll be carrying over. Oh, that's a little off. Can I get that off? If not, I'll just trim it down. So sometimes when I'm putting down cardstock, I try not to push too hard until I know I have it lined up. Like, that's better. Now I'll really push it down. Stampin' Sale, there you go. Thank you. I'm like, I have my catalog sitting right there. I could go flipping through it and find the name, but I knew someone here would know what I was talking about. Oh, you too, Karen. Thank you. You guys have my back. The best. Okay, so that's kind of our card base. Now we're going to start working on our bird's nest. I just think it's so fun, especially this time of the year. There's lots of birds. My parents have a bird's nest, no, what's that called? Well, anyways, there's a mama bird and lots of baby birds, and I heard them today, and they were making lots of noise and as happy as anything. It was fun to listen to them. So I'm just going to start with a scrap piece of Whisper White so I can kind of stamp these images that I'm going to cut out with the corresponding dies. I have lots of stamps mounted here and ready to go, so let's see how many you think actually I used in this card. I'm going to use a ton. Let's first start with our nest. So fun. Can't really see it, but there you go. Next is going to be stamped in Crumb Cake. Let me also show you, I love seeing this when people do this. So my color palette here is Petal Pink, Balmy Blue, Crumb Cake, Soft Suede, and Early Espresso. Honestly, these two, you didn't have, I could have just stuck with one of them, but I did two. Hoping for that catalog tomorrow. Lynn, I looked for yours and yours is still not showing updated tracking. I don't know what in the world. I honestly could have brought it to you a lot faster than it's taking to get mailed to you. I know, Karen, a lot of colors, but neutrals. I kind of clump these as one color because they're neutral. So technically like 3-ish. So our nest is going to be stamped in Crumb Cake. I know. I don't know. When I look at that, I don't see that many colors though. Maybe because they all are, a lot of them are neutral. So the bird's nest here, I'm going to stamp. Oh, oh, that's fun. Denise, can you hear them? Can you hear the baby? Have the babies hatched yet? That's really fun. Okay, there's our nest. Let me set that one aside. I'm going to stamp everything and then cut it all out just because I think it's easier that way. Which one should we do next? How about the little eggs? So the eggs, you get 3 of them. They're one stamp and they're all connected. And the same with the die. It's one die, all connected. And the eggs I stamped in Balmy Blue. I thought this was a fun, or I don't know if fun is the word, just a great baby card, because depending on whether the person you know is either having a girl or a boy, like you could swap out this cardstock here. So if you knew they were having a boy, I probably would have used Balmy Blue cardstock. If they're having a girl, the Petal Pink cardstock, so you can kind of make it fit the occasion, so to speak. Okay, now our bird, I did an Early Espresso. And it doesn't have to be a 2-step stamp, but I am using it that way. So let me show you. Actually, it could be a 3-step if you really wanted to go crazy. This bird lines up with just this background, and then there's also a wing that coordinates with it. And then same with the other bird, you have kind of this one that has a little bit more detail, sort of the background one, and then the wing. And then there's 2 claws, whatever. I am so not a vocabulary expert when it comes to this stuff. For each. So you have like a standing feet, and then you kind of have sitting feet for both of them, which I think is really fun. And there's dies for there's a die for each of these, which is pretty amazing. So we're going to do a 2-step stamp, say that 10 times fast, using Early Espresso ink. And what I found with this particular stamp is that it was easiest to line up when I stamped the darker shade first. So in this case, I'm stamping the bird with the most, or I guess the littlest detail. Well, let's call him the bird with the eye. I'm stamping the bird with the eye in the darkest color, so I'm going to stamp him first. I just found it was easiest when lining them up to do it that way. Now the outline of the bird, I'm going to do the Early Espresso as well, but I'm going to stamp off first. Your cats. Do they go crazy? Oh, 3 or 4 baby birds. Oh, that's so fun to hear them. Although they can get a little annoying. I was sitting at my parents' today and I knew exactly when the mama bird had come to the nest because all of a sudden you heard the babies go crazy. It was so funny. So I'm taking the outline one. I'm going to ink it up in the Early Espresso. I'm stamping off, and then I'm going to hopefully, I got ink on my hand. Hold on. That's all I need is getting ink everywhere. I'm hopefully going to line this up. I'm going to bring it a little bit low. I apologize if it's out of shot, but I got to get it a little bit under my eyes here. Line it up and then stamp down. Beautiful. Oh, there we go. So again, my suggestion, I tried it both ways. I tried doing the lighter shade first and then stamping the darker shade over that. And it was just a little tricky to try and line it up perfectly. I just found that it was easiest to do darkest and then to do the second one over that. And then where's my this one. So I did it with this one as well, and even though they're two completely different shades. So first I stamped the Memento Black, and then I stamped Crushed Curry. It was just easiest to line up, in my opinion. I don't know. You guys try it and let me know. Maybe you guys are better at it than I am. So normally, you know, I put feet on him, but he's kind of inside the nest, so I don't need to do feet. There's no sense. No one will see the feet. So let me get out all my dies that I need here, and then I'm just gonna cut them out. Look at all those dies. Oh my goodness, so fun. So we need the nest, we need the eggs, and then we need a bird. Now, you might say, how did I know which bird was which? This one, the one that faces left, his tail is a little bit higher. He kind of has his tail up, and then the bird that's facing the other way, his tail is kind of down. So that's kind of an easy way to be able to tell which die goes to which bird quickly. So I'm just gonna off screen cut these out. If you've also received your new annual catalog, you'll see that we have a new die cutting machine coming, which is very, very exciting. It won't be available on June 3rd to order, but we're hoping by about summer that it'll be ready, although it feels like summer right now. It'll be available for us to order. So many fun things. New adhesive, new die cutting machine, die cutting and embossing machine. Okay, here's our 3 eggs. And last but not least, the nest. Okay. And this nest, I stamped it right on a Whisper white cardstock. I have seen other demonstrators stamp like a crumb cake on crumb cake, or an early espresso on crumb cake, which I think is kind of neat. It just makes it a little bit darker and adds a little bit more color. So something to think about. So there's our, I'm going to set these aside because we have to do a little bit more stamping. Okay, so next you're going to need a panel of Whisper White and then a panel of crumb cake. The Whisper White measures 3 by 4.5. I always second guess myself. Oh, I'm glad I did second guess myself. 3 by 4.25. It measures 3 by 4.25. And then the crumb cake measures 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. So it's just 1/8 bigger. And we're going to do some stamping on the Whisper White here. So what you're going to need for our background stamping is this long branch, the short branch, and then these flowers. There are other flowers. There's this one and sort of like a half-a one that you can also stamp, which is really fun. Okay, so first we're gonna stamp the branch. The branch I am stamping in soft suede. So again, if you don't have, you could easily interchange soft suede and early espresso if you just wanted to use one color. The difference, honestly, you probably wouldn't have even noticed unless I told you those were 2 different colors. This is the soft suede and that's the early espresso. So first I'm gonna stamp my branch pretty much straight. Sort of centered, maybe a little bit lower in the card. Okay, now we're done with that. You can set that one aside. Now, and I'm gonna do some more branch stamping, but first I'm gonna stamp this cluster of flowers, like a nice cluster of flowers in Petal Pink. And I'm gonna stamp first because that will help me gauge where to stamp my other branches. If I stamp the branches too close, it's not the end of the world. The flowers kind of overlap each other, but it's, I don't know, I'd like a little bit more control over where they get stamped. And it does fit perfectly, kind of nested into the branch here. And I'll show you kind of how my gauge. So if I'm holding my stamp like this, let's see here. This guy right here goes at that tip. So that is kind of was my gauge as to, once you get that kind of in position, the other ones naturally kind of fall into place as well. So kind of an easy cheat. And then now I'm going to come back with the smaller branch and stamp it again in soft suede. One I'm going to stamp, I don't think I'm going to do this the identical way I did it the first time, a little higher. And then this one I'm gonna stamp again, definitely more to the bottom of the branch, like that. The very first time I did this, I stamped all the branches first, and like all the flowers were very clustered and kind of on top of each other. So I think you have a little bit more control as to where things end up going if you do that first set first. So again, I'm going to line up this little guy first, and just kind of take your time like that. The one in the middle, everything that's kind of closest to the branch gets covered because of the nest. And honestly, after I stamped this, I was like, that is so pretty. I kind of just want to leave the card like that and not even put the nest or the birds on it. I thought that was so pretty, just the branch and the flowers. But that's not the card we're making. So I kept going. So I'm going to just kind of play with placement. I want my bird sort of sitting in her nest. Oh, no worries, Amy. I want her kind of sitting and watching her babies. And then these little guys. So this is my trick. I can't do this obviously because my phone is taking the live video. But when I'm playing with a layout, I like to kind of play around and get a feel for, I originally had everything swapped and I had the eggs on this side and the bird facing this way. And I kind of like play with different layouts and placement of things. And once I have it the way I have it, I take a picture with my phone. Especially with a card that has lots of different layers and components. And I'm like, oh, I finally got it the way I want. And now I have to take it off and, and glue it all down. So I will take a picture of it. And then I keep the picture next to me so I can remember kind of where everything went. Yeah, I do too, Chrissy. I like the branch and flowers. I think you can really do a lot. So now that I have that down, and I can't take a picture, although I do have my sample. I'm just gonna kind of, another thing that I could do, I probably did this in my sample, is I will actually glue things to the back of this, right? Hold on, like this. So if kind of I'm trying to position things specifically around, like in this case, the nest, I'll just start adhering things to the nest or whatever it is in that case. And that way I know, like, the bird's not going to end up way too high or whatever. So like the same thing with the eggs, we could put some liquid glue here or adhesive. I would probably normally use adhesive just because, I don't know. I don't like the feeling of glue on my hands. And then like that. And that way I kind of, that one there. Oh, I think is my bird falling? It's really hard. So normally I don't do this with glue, so I just adhere it down and it like sticks. But this one, like that. Don't move, don't move. Okay, so there. That way I know I have everything kind of where I want it. And then I'm going to, before I do that, I'm going to adhere this down to my cardstock panel. And there it is, lost my snail. So before I do the nest, let's get this down. Just easier to do before everything's on top. See, now I got glue on my fingers. Oh, first world problems. Okay, and then this guy will go over all that. And I don't know. There wasn't really much rhyme or reason to where I put him on the branch, but like that works there. And then, where's my card? And I need dimensionals. Of course, I was looking at the card going, I don't think I used any dimensionals on the card, but I don't know who I thought I was because of course I did. There's no way I wasn't going to put some sort of a dimensional on this card. So this entire panel gets adhered down with dimensionals and centered to the card. It's kind of bothering me. Is he down? He's down. I can't move him. Okay, so pretty, right? And even if you didn't want to add a separate sentiment, you could easily just stamp it right here. That would definitely work, as opposed to adding another component to it. Oh, you hate the feeling of glue too? Oh, good. Yes, me too. That's why I rarely use it, because then I feel like everything's sticky. Thanks, Lori. Thanks so much. But I wanted to go and stamp the sentiment. So the sentiment that I'm using, the one I used was the Hello Baby from the So Sentimental stamp set. This is carrying over. So Hello Baby, but I don't know, maybe you guys don't need a baby card, so I did the For You. And I think it works as just a regular card, honestly. And I'm gonna stamp it in Early Espresso ink. Oh, that's funny, Karen. Do you know if they're expecting a boy or a girl? You don't care for liquid glue either. Okay, Michelle, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I just am stuck. I'm all sticky. So I stamped the For You in Early Espresso ink. And then I'm going to take the coordinating dies, which are the Stitched So Sweetly dies. Oh, thank you, Barb. I'm so glad you like it. Oh, they had a boy. Okay. And I'm using this littlest one. He's so cute. Just the cutest little die with the stitched edge. And it fits perfectly the For You. So, off screen here, I'm going to just line it up. And adhere and cut it out, excuse me. Yeah, I think this card is a really cute, especially with the eggs, you know, it's a really cute baby card, but I think it can be used for other things as well. You'll order it Wednesday. Okay, I don't want to lose my die. So there's the For You. So cute with a little stitch around the edge. And then lastly, and I forgot to get it out. Look at this, I'm almost out. Oh! That makes me sad. I love this ribbon so much. This is Petal Pink ribbon. It is carrying over. I don't think I need that long. Maybe that. And this measures like 4.25-ish. And I'm just literally folding it over itself. I'm not doing anything too fancy. You know, two people just had their babies. Oh! Oh, thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much. I'm so glad everybody likes it. That makes me happy. Where did I put... Okay, I'm going to use tear and tape again. I didn't in my card. I think I just used... Well, let's try this snail. Let's try and be lazy and see if it works. You know I'm going to end up having to use tear and tape. Oh, no. Maybe not. So I just put a little snail down to fold the ribbon on itself. Yeah, that works. And then adhere it down to the card, like so. And then this as well, because why not? I adhered it down using Stampin' Dimensionals. Oops. To go, I always like my sentiments kind of hanging off a little bit. You know, it's not like perfectly on there. But there you go. How cute is that? Oh my goodness, so adorable. I think you can do so much with this bundle. I'm super excited. Again, it becomes available next Wednesday to everyone. And I like that it doesn't come with sentiments, because it really, I think, forces us to think like, how can we use this stamp set, and I think you can use it for just about anything. A birthday card, a thank you card, just thinking of you card. It's very, very versatile. So you're going to want this one. Make sure you put it on your wish list for next Wednesday. If you've been watching and you have yet to leave a comment, quickly do so, because as soon as we're done here, I'm going to draw names for someone to receive tonight's card, which is like hot off the press, brand new product. Very exciting. And thank you everyone for joining me tonight, for watching. I will see you next week. Have a great, great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.